Hello mappers, I wanted to show you this morning how to prepare your JOSM application to do turn lane mapping. So turn lane mapping is basically detailed information about the number of lanes and the configuration of lanes close to intersections of roads and highways. So I will first open JOSM to do that. And this is a pretty plain vanilla JOSM with very little customization applied. And then, once that's loaded, I will start with two things I will do. I will install a plugin that helps me with doing this lane editing. And I will also add a paint style. So the first thing is the plugin. I'll go to the JOSM settings, go to plugins, and if the list is not already downloaded, you can do that with the download button. I'm gonna search for turn lanes. You see there's two, so there's only one that is actually doing the right thing, as far as I know. It's the second one, turn lanes tagging. So don't use turn lanes, use turn lanes tagging. Maybe the other one does the right thing. I haven't tried it in a while, but this is the one that I prefer in terms of the interface. The other one is a little bit more graphic. I suggest you use this one. So we have that, and then we also will apply a paint style. So the paint style we're going to use is lane and road attributes. There's two of them. I like the basic one a little bit better. There's lane and road attributes and enhanced lane and road attributes, both from the same author, I think. Martin Voorwald, and then there's Martin Voorwald and Florin Barita. So there's the same people are involved. I like this one a little bit better, so I'm going to, with those two things customized, I am going to let JOSM install that, and by pressing OK, and you'll see that there's an additional, it's not enabled now, but in the data menu there's an additional item. So next I'm going to download some data from the map, and that data is focused on an area where there's a few roads that have a standard lane configuration that could use some more detailed tagging. So I'm going to download some imagery. Bing is not available at the moment. That's being worked on, but for now I'm just going to use Esri World, which is fine for this purpose. So you'll see, first thing you'll see is that the enhanced lane and road attributes paint style will color or render the roads with the lanes configured, or the lanes as they are tagged. So if we click on this and we pop out the tags panel, you can see actually this is invalid, or it's not the way it's suggested. So it says lanes 5, and really when you have an odd number of lanes there should be forward and backward lanes configured. So this is actually not correct, if you will. So the next time we'll do is we're going to pop up the the one thing you'll want to do as well that I forgot is you'll want to go to OSM data, and you want to make sure that the draw directions arrows is enabled. Why this is important will become clear in just a moment. So what the little direction arrows mean, that at every node in the way there will be a little arrow indicating what forward and what backward is. So this way is pointing to the northeast, so this is to the northeast is forward, and to the southwest is backward. This is important because that's the nomenclature that the plugin also uses. So we can see here I'm going to use Alt shortcut Alt 2 to enable and disable the data layer. Depending on how many layers you have enabled, this might be a different number key. I have 2 layers, and JOSM, or the data layer, is the top one, so this will be Alt 2. I wish it were always the same key, but that's not the case. So we can see here that this particular area, or this particular part of the road, has 2 lanes in the backward direction and then 3 lanes with turns in the forward direction. So if we re-enable this, we see that we need to split the way first. So we need to split the way at the point where the lane configuration changes. So we're going to split it right here at this node. I'll use shortcut key P to do that. Will pop up a dialog which history you want to keep. I usually don't pay attention to that. There's usually no reason to. So I'm clicking don't show again. So now we'll see we have 2 ways. I want this one and this one. And we can start working on this one. Remember that the northwest or the northeast direction is forward and the southwest direction is backward. And we can see because of the arrows at every node in the way. So now we pop open that turn lane tagging editor that is now enabled because we have a way selected. First we need to make sure, however, I'm going to pop this back in, that the road is also split at the other side. So in this case the road dead ends, so there's no need to do that, but always check on both ends if the way is split, so that the segment you're working on has a 1 lane configuration, doesn't change. So I'm going to pop open that turn lanes tagging editor, and you can see that there is a sort of a visual representation of the lanes. Right now it doesn't distinguish between forward and backward because it's just marked as a unidirectional road, which is not quite right, but it's just marked as 5 lanes in the tags as we saw earlier. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to change that to bidirectional road. And now we see a distinction between the backward and the forward lanes. So remember, the direction towards the traffic light is forward. And so forward we have 2 lanes and backward we have 3 lanes. No, the other direction. Forward we have 3 lanes. So we're going to change that. And backward we have 2 lanes. So you can see immediately the rendering also changes. So then we can, if we want to remind ourselves, we can again look at the lane configuration in the real world. So we have right, left, left. So we can change that here by just starting to click these icons, and you can see that the rendering also immediately changed to give us a visual confirmation that we're doing the right thing. On the other end, we're not really seeing any turn lanes because the road just starts there. It's just 2 lanes, regular lanes, so there's no need to specify there what type of lane it is. So that's basically it. We've now done 1 segment. What I do normally is to kind of go down the road and see if there is where the configuration changes again. So we can just disable the JOSM data layer, and then we can see here, for example, I don't quite know how to do these pre-sorting configurations. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to do 1 more, and then I'm going to call it a day. So I'm going to split again here, where the lane configuration changes to what is in the US fairly common is like a turn lane, a bidirectional turn lane. So this is marked with yellow lines usually. This is a lane that both directions can use to turn into minor roads and merge in and out to turn into these minor roads like this parking lot right here. So again, I'm going to check the other direction as well and see where the lane configuration changes once again. So in this case, it's a fairly long stretch. You can see here that it goes from 4 to 2 lanes. So we're going to split that again. Oh, that's already done. That's nice. Someone else did that before. So this is correct. So now we can click on this entire segment. What we have is 2 lanes forward, 2 lanes backward, and then this turn lane. So when we select this segment, we can click on bidirectional again. 2 lanes in each direction, and then we have a both-way lane, which allows us to turn left into each direction. So you can see that there's arrows. Sometimes these arrows will exist in reality. Most of the time they won't, but this is how we do turn lanes. And you can see that the rendering is sort of right. you can see that there's a double dashed line on one side of the both way lane and a single dashed line on the other. So that's not quite right, but you can still visualize the lane configuration and compare it to reality. And what's nice is that they do a good job of sort of representing the lanes as they usually are, wide in the real world. So as you zoom in and out, the sort of the width of the lanes in the rendered data is kind of the same as what you would see on the satellite and aerial imagery. Okay, so now all we're left to do is to upload. So we have one warning, and that's because let's look at it. We have one warning. I usually don't like to upload with warnings, but sometimes there's just too many. So yeah, this bit that we left in the middle, that is 5 lanes and has no forward and backward. So let's quickly fix that actually. So the best I can do based on my knowledge is to mark it as bidirectional, and 2 lanes backward, 3 lanes forward, and then just without any turn lane specification. Again, I'm not quite sure how to represent this sort of pre-sorting lane configuration, but you can see that the both way turn lane ends here, so that's no longer part of the lane configuration. And you can see that there's 3 lanes forward, 2 lanes back. So now that we fixed that, the warning should be gone, and we can upload that. You can see there are 2 ways changed and 2 ways added, because we split, and 1 way is modified. So add turn lane configuration. And upload. And you will not see this rendered on the main OpenStreetMap website. This information is used by sort of applications that use OSM for turn-by-turn navigation, etc. So it's not very visually rewarding, but I like doing it regardless, because I used to work in this field, and I know how important it is to have these lane configurations right. There's lots of other ways you can add more detail. For example, if there's stop signs, stop lines, etc. These can all be added. This is not what I wanted to do today, but I just wanted to show you how to set your JOSM up for basic turn lane tagging and install the right plugins and the right map paint style. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.